Hi everyone, this video is about BOOMER. BOOMER is quite unique in the way it shoots. At first glance it looks and feels difficult and shots feel like they are all over the place, but after a while, once you get hang of how the boomerangs interact with different winds, the shots will feel logic and natural. This video is not a scientific tutorial with mathematical wind charts. This is a tutorial to get started with BOOMER, teaching the basic concepts and thinking of aiming from my perspective. Hopefully you can apply some of these mental techniques to your own gameplay. Once you have learned the basics, you can then improvise your shots depending on terrain, distance and situation. In this video, all shots shown will be about S2, the second ability. All shots will also be in Super Sky Shot level. Learning to do Super Sky Shots is important, because only then will you be able to fully understand how the boomerangs react with different winds. Let's take a look. So the first thing you need to do is go into the settings and make sure automatic camera is turned off. I really recommend having it turned off all the time, but especially when you're learning BOOMER. This way you can freely move around the camera, and that makes it easier to aim. Then, what can we use in this environment to make it easier to aim with BOOMER? Well, we need some reference points. And the first one is the item boxes. All the item boxes on the left side you can use. And what you need to do is to move your item boxes directly under the tank, your tank. Then you start aiming towards the opponent's profile picture, and more specific, this SS meter up here. This height is enough to get a super sky shot judgment in almost all cases, except for when the wind is very strong downwards. Let's try this theory. So let's aim at the opponent's tank here. It's 4 wind, so we need to adjust a little bit here, okay? That's the first step. So let's move over to how the different winds work. Well, one thing you need to always remember is that when the wind is pointing directly upwards or downwards, they are so-called neutral winds. That means you can directly aim at the opponent's tank and it will almost all the time hit for sure. With this information, with the neutral winds, you can then adjust the aiming accordingly. For example, let's take a look. So we use the item boxes as the reference point here. We aim towards the SS meter of the opponent up here. And then we adjust a little bit. Okay, so now we aim. This is directly on the opponent's tank, but the wind is pointing upwards and to the right a little bit. So we need to move a little bit to the left here. Okay, let's try. So this wind is pointing almost directly downwards, and as I said this before, this is a neutral wind. So we can almost directly aim like this at the target. But since it's pointing slightly towards the left, I just need to adjust a little bit to the right to make sure. Okay, 6 wind, almost straight upward, so this is a neutral wind. So we can aim directly at the target. It's pointing slightly to the right, so we can adjust a little bit. Now it's 6, but downwards, almost neutral as well. We can adjust just a little bit to the right here. Wind, and it's pointing downwards, and as I said in the beginning, it's a neutral wind. So we can pretty much aim directly at the target. Well, upwards, straight upwards, so this is a neutral wind, even if it's 12. However, as I said in the beginning, some winds, it will almost always hit with neutral winds, but some winds, like now when it's 12, you have to adjust a little bit. It will fly further to the left than you think, so you need to aim slightly to the right here. "11 wind, downwards, so it's neutral, and it's strong enough to not count as a super sky shot. "4 wind, pointing upwards, so it's neutral. It's 4 again, but it's kinda pointing a little bit to the right, so we need to adjust slightly.